How's it going, fishing friends? Today we're actually going to be talking about my cold weather box, finally. So let's just take a look at my baits here.
Perfect.
Alright, so to start, I guess we can go ahead and look at jigs. So I've got about 5 jigs or so. I've got a Heart Justice jig, black with a green pumpkin trailer, and this is actually a flipping jig. But so most of my jigs, I try to keep like 2 colors at least, bright and dark most of the time. This isn't necessarily bright, but it's kind of a more natural color for the area that I'm fishing, mostly this winter. Finesse football head. I think it's a Bitsy bug. Finesse jig. I've got another football head, another Bitsy bug. Now that the cover's starting to die out, I feel a lot more confident that I'll be able to catch some on those, just dragging them on the bottom real slow this winter. I'm going to accompany that, like I'll probably follow through with a blade bait, or not a blade bait, sorry, a buzz bait, not a buzz bait, a chatter bait. I don't know why I keep, so I've got a couple, like I said again, blue and white, a bright one, and a darker one. So I try to keep those colors most of the time. Sorry. Kind of having a brain fart right now. We've got a lot to cover on these baits. Let's go ahead and talk about crankbaits. So as you guys can see, this is it's like a 2.5 inch bill or so. It's a Norman Lures crankbait. It's a really deep, I'm not sure the depth on this, but I figured it'd be good for winter. Get down real deep, be able to shoot it down with a couple of turns of a reel, shoot it down real deep, and then just kind of let it, come back up. We're going to try and see if we can catch one like that. And then I've also got, you guys are probably going to notice a pattern here. I've got black and blue, white and chartreuse, and that's pretty much mostly the colors, maybe some chrome. Another chartreuse bait on the bottom. It's a body of a craw, but it's more or less the color of a grasshopper, so I don't know, maybe they'll be digging that. We'll try that out. This is a jointed, I think it's called a shad wrap minnow or something like that. Anyway, we're gonna fish that. It's also a little bit deep. It gets a little bit deeper. Like I said, whenever some of that vegetation dies out, I'm not gonna be so worried about running 12-pound tests or something. Like you guys can see right here, I've got a jerk bait set up. You know what, I guess we can go ahead and talk about jerkbaits since we got those out of the way. Got a handful of jerkbaits, handful of jerkbaits here. You guys can tell they're mostly chartreuse. I'm kind of experimenting around. I've been catching them, sorry, I'm kind of hooked right here. We started catching them on white baits, so that kind of keyed me into broader colors, white being a shad, closer to a shad resembling color. It may have just been that factor that is closer to the bait fish. So I've been experimenting with different chartreuse bait. They seem to be doing okay. Certain baits do better than others. This is a medium heavy rod. I'm throwing 10-pound test on a 6:1 ratio. And this is, I believe this is a cotton cordell jerk bait. I haven't thrown this one yet, but I want to. I've thrown this one, this clown looking one. I've thrown this one. I've thrown both of these, and they're both double sets of hooks. But I've thrown both of these. They're both kind of a chartreuse, a broader color. This one's kind of dark on the top, but I don't know. I was probably fishing it more shallow than anything. Like I said, I've been fishing broader colors. These chartreuse baits, I haven't had a lot of luck on. I'm actually trying this one now. It's a more natural, resembles a minnow or a bait fish or something. Jerk baits haven't done well. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm going to. So look out for that giant freaking crankbait. Just wanted to mainly give you guys an overview of this box so you would know exactly the baits that I'm throwing. I'm not sure what the name of this one is. This is like a this is an Ozark Trail Walmart one. You get 2 of them for $3 and some change, I think. X-Wrap. We got a Catchco Hunch. It's a smaller, shallow diving jerk bait. I don't know how much I'm going to be using that, but I always keep it in there with the jerk baits. This one, I'm not sure where this one came from. I can't remember, but I think it actually does pretty well as far as action and suspension. So I keep that with me too because it's one of my better jerk baits. That's all of my jerk baits, folks. I don't have any more except for one that I'm probably not going to fish anymore because it just doesn't work well. Not my cup of tea. Let's go ahead and talk about square bills. I can't remember what this was called, like Cali Craw or something like that. It's a Lucky Craft square bill. Pretty fat square, pretty fat bill, so it probably dives pretty well. This one is a more natural pattern, white and black on the top, so I feel like I can catch something on this one this winter. Out of all these baits, the only ones I've caught fish on are jigs, blade baits, and square bills. I've caught 1 fish on a square bill, and that was this year actually. Swim baits. I don't have a lot of experience with these, but I have a lot of confidence. That's with all these baits. I have a lot of confidence in these baits for winter time. So these are what I'm going to be throwing. Spinner baits. Again, back with the same thing. I've got a light one. Actually, let me go ahead and hold these up for you. Alright, so again with spinner baits, I've got a couple of light color ones, willow blades mostly, a couple dark ones. I've heard that spinner baits do well in winter, so we're going to try these also. Let's get these jammed up in here. Yeah, I said jammed. So what have we not gone over? Let's go ahead and talk about another deadly bait that I've actually had a lot of success with, being the blade bait. Not so much spoons, I haven't fished those a whole lot, but I put these in here with my blade bait because the actions and stuff are quite similar, which I'm actually going to have to go through here and figure out what the heck I'm going to do because I realize now that I don't have space for everything. Let's talk about, like I said, spoons. I haven't fished these a lot, but I know that the action and you can fish, the action is similar and you can also fish them close to the same way. So we're going to put the spoons in here and talk about these Johnson Thin Fishers. These are actually my favorite type of blade bait. Chrome. I've had a lot of luck on the chrome, and then also a green and white kind of chartreusey color. But so yeah, these, I think I've talked about these before in another video. You just throw them out. You get a long cast with these two. This is all these are a ½ ounce, I believe. Yeah, they're all a ½ ounce, so you can get them out there pretty far. I normally throw like a 50-pound braid just so I don't snap them off. I'm trying to run it through some stuff. You let it fall, and you just pick your rod tip up, let it fall back down, and while it's falling you can pick up that slack. Because it's so heavy, it's not like a crappie jig whenever it falls. You know, whenever I do my crappie technique, I'll throw it, let it fall, without reeling though, for sure. You don't want to reel up any slack while you're, you know, like after you lift, you throw it out there, let it fall, lift, and after you lift, with crappie jigs, I don't really reel it up so much because it tends to pull the jigs, because they don't really weigh so much. This ½ ounce, I feel, you know, confident that you can reel up that slack without just, you know, making it fly through the water. So that's one good thing about these. Same fish it the same way as that crappie technique. Throw it out, let it sink, lift, and you'll feel the vibration, and fall back down, lift again, just pick up that slack. And that's how I like to work these most of the time. If you're not having luck like that, you can actually just throw it out there, get a long cast, and then just kind of slow roll it. And sometimes when you're slow rolling it, if you catch a fish like that, it can key you in that jerk baits, crankbaits, or square bills might do well. You know, anything that you would slow roll that has a bait fish imitation. Only baits we have left now are the Yum tripod. I don't know how well you guys can see that over there, so we'll show this guy. It's got a little kind of a head on there. Mine's actually kind of pressed in so I can fit it in this box, but you can actually, it actually spreads out a little bit. Another just bait fish presentation. You'll notice a lot of these are either craw or bait fish type of situations. The only colored lipless crankbaits that I'm keeping in this box right now are actually more natural patterns, like I think it said perch or something. I believe this one's blue herring. This is my cold weather box. This is all the baits that I'm going to be throwing this winter. I hope that they produce as much as I'm expecting. We're going to catch fish somewhere, sometime this winter. We're going to use all these baits. So we've got quite a few to cover. Hopefully plenty of cool content to check out. So I guess for now, that's just going to be the box. I'll go ahead and release this video, and then we'll go out and fish the baits in this box in separate videos. Man, I am terrible at this, guys. I don't even know if I got that outro done just now. Just making sure this camera's still going. I'm hoping I did, but in case I didn't. So that was my whole winter box. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, checking out my box, talking a little bit about the baits I'm going to be throwing this winter. Maybe we'll get on some fish together. You guys will get to see me throwing some cool winter techniques with these baits. So I guess until next time, we'll see you guys later. Jam the man out.